All right, good morning and welcome. Welcome to VOP this morning. It's anniversary fever. That's exactly what it is because about this time in 2023, VOP television started transmission. So, yes, it's first anniversary month. All right, so I'm Moses Humphrey and I welcome you to a brand new day, the beginning of another year for Voice of the People television. And beginning of another, range of programs and other things. And also, it's the launch of VOP's new studio. Amazing one. Good morning to you. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Moses. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria.
All right, her name is Fina. And David is also in the building. And we do have our guest, our very first guest in this studio, Mr. Akin Fatimuke. Good to have you.
It's nice to be here. Let me say congratulations on your anniversary, and I dare say people's voices have been heard. And you are coming for your first anniversary on a Friday.
On a Monday.
On a February, I want to say.
Okay. Month of love.
At the February, right? Leap year is going to be 29. So we are going to continue to celebrate you for 29 years. This 29 days.
Oh my!
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yes, it is. It is a pleasure to have you here with us. Now, quickly, without much ado, let's dive into the papers. Let's look at stories that made it to the cover papers. But before we do so, let's let you into some of the things we'll be talking about today.
Oh yes, we're just going to look at quickly because of our time. I'm just trying to.
We'll be looking at the state of the nation. Yes, we'll be looking at the state of the nation, power generation crashing to 0 megawatts as grid collapsed, and some parts of the north were left in complete darkness. We'll look at that one, plus looted funds. EFCC recovers 30 billion naira from humanitarian ministry. Well, all these and more, we'll touch it. Do well to subscribe, follow us on YouTube. It's Voice of the People Television on YouTube and on social media platforms. We are at VOP TV Live. All right, do well to engage with us. Let us know what's on your mind. We usually ask that question in the mornings. Just drop it there. I will take it, the course of the program. What's on your mind? Insecurity? I know that's on the minds of a lot of Nigerians. There's a video I was going to share with us this morning, just to further let us know the essence of securing our environment. But that will be for later. That will be for later. In the meantime, let's dive into the papers now.
But before we do that, we want to encourage you to please click on our subscribe button. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And on other social media platforms, we are VOP Live.
All right.
Subscribe.
Okay. You had to do that again. All right, then let's get into the papers, David.
All right, let's get into the papers, and we are going to start off this morning with the Punch newspaper, where the banner headline here reads: fundraising for ransom persists as Ekiti pupils family pay 15 million naira. Now, the sub-rider there is the victims' relative, friends, neighbors raise ransom. School driver killed, and this is from the proprietor Sloan Riley. Kidnappers / slain Kwara monarchs widows ransom to 40 million naira. I take that again. Kidnappers / slain Kwara monarchs widows ransom to 40 million naira. Suspect arrested. Above the nameplates there, still talking about the page of the Punch newspaper, you find there in NAFEM, dollar supply rises by 180% as banks sell $440 million. And that's an interesting one as well. Still above the nameplate there, you find federal government, FG states debts near 107 trillion naira, falls raised loans.
Naira falls,
I beg your pardon. Naira falls raises loans. And then you find also the nameplate Tinubu, Obasanjo, world leaders mourn Namibian president. Okay, I'll still giving you more headlines here, right there at the front page of the Punch newspaper. Power generation crashes to 59 megawatts as grid collapses again.
That's one of the issues we'll be talking
Yeah,
about
definitely.
today.
NSCDC trains vigilantes to secure 821,000 vulnerable schools as 10 hospitalized as police cult groups clash in Lagos schools. Those are the headlines right on the front page of the Punch newspaper. We still have with us here Mr. Akifatike. Now, at this point, let's just quickly dive into it. What particular story tickles your fancy more?
Well, the fancy aspect is the security. Nigeria is not being run as a government state. We are in dire problems. Two things have bedeviled us: security, economy, rising population, rising inflation. Back in school, gentlemen and ladies, when you have all these kind of stockpiles, there are clear signs of a failed state. Nigeria appears to be failing. I deliberately qualified that when I said appear. Nigeria is actually failing. And we all begin to gather loins from those who are ruling us, not leading, and those who are following, to opposition, to women, to children. We are traumatizing the next set of generation of people that will never want to be patriotic to the enclave called Nigeria. That is the reality of the moment. It's becoming transactional, continuous. You are going to be kidnapped, and then you begin to haggle as if you are going to buy a cow.
And when you think about the monies they mentioned,
it's impossible.
50 million, 1 million.
They are doing it with so much reckless abandon, was it? It is very, very painful, you know?
Yes, it
when
is.
they take your ransom and your money, then they will sit down and take cigarettes and take energy drink and take
codeine, drugs,
it is impossible.
And jubilate.
It is impossible to fathom. It is impossible to fathom. Nigeria is failing.
Now you did say something. We are traumatizing the generation to come. That's indeed true, and that is well. That was on the Punch newspaper where we talked about the driver of the Ekiti, the kidnap that involved the teachers and the driver being killed. If you look at the headline from the Nation newspaper, it says the driver shot dead, body burned before the abducted student, right in their presence. Now these students are barely, maybe less than 15 or thereabouts. I don't know the average age, but I'm gonna guess that it should be.
Hazard a guess.
Yes, about 15 or thereabouts.
And
Below.
Yeah.
And then they get to watch a human being
being
burnt to death. How do you think this will affect their psyche going forward?
That human being's name is Tairafiu. And they look at it is children are brought up to say, oh, Uncle Taye, oh, good morning. Uncle Taye, good morning. And then you watch
Uncle
that
Taye
fellow
being burnt.
being gone down and burned. Even during the Crusades, when they hanged people at the stakes, it's not as bad as what we are witnessing in Nigeria.
Isn't it about time?
However, having said all that, Fina, you and I still go to parties. Moses,
And the presidential aide is saying that the media is blowing this out of
go
control.
to Grenada to go and throw millions of parties. What manner of people are we? Children sing, you know, in when they started putting people's back at the States, Yazimo, early in the 70s. One of the things that came was that should children be looking at this? By the time the thing now escalated to Shola Folorusho talk about Anini and Mighty Joe, it became a norm. So these
which was the the place then.
These children are now used to now then seeing people not just being put tire on the road and then being born, but in their presence they have been asked to go and learn from school. And what they are learning.
Is that not a way of radicalizing those children?
Of course. Why do you think? What has happened to Chibok and the ones we have up north? What happened on February 25, year 2014? The children saw it on television when their fellow mates at the federal government college at Buni went there, slaughtered them like rams and burnt them. It's not happening for the first time. It's been going on. And why would anybody comfortable? I am speaking as a parent. I'm also speaking as a humanist. That this is one time too many. And here we dismantle this contraption that we are calling a nation state. The better for us. I am saying it, and I will repeat to say it. What is now very painful is this. And it has happened so many times before. It just happened in Ekiti. It just happened in Ondo. That's again. And there won't be any response to this. Is to me a crazy stuff.
I know
how are we going to continue to live this way? Life expectancy just moved from 45 to 50 without even firing a shot. Before you can say our life expectancy is likely to reduce just because of fear of you have children, you want to send them to school. I am talking about all over Nigeria. Nigeria is failing. There is no doubt about that Nigeria is failing. I challenge any ruler at any level to come and tell me that what I mean is that I'm making from, and I do not pray that any of us, including those that are not being affected, should be visited with what has happened to the parents. Moses, remember, we are talking about this. Remember, I think December 10 or 2005, and just reference to the socialist cry. You saw how a crop of young talent that would have been leaders were just mercilessly burnt and on the socialist crash. What do you expect these children to now then feel? Mommy and daddy, my what? Why are you sending me to school? To go and do what? Let me begin to carry weapons. To teach me how to carry weapons. Is that a sign of a state that is viable? Unfortunately not.
And as it is,
I hope we change our ways.
As it is, states are even get themselves some vigilantes empowered. So indeed, government has failed. Indeed, that's even putting it mildly, because the basic work of the government is to provide security, and now the government cannot even provide security. Where does that even put us in? Oh well, unfortunately, we'll just run through the headlines in the nation very quickly, and then wrap up the newspaper review. We have how to exploit financial systems loopholes. That's on top of the Nation newspaper, the nameplate. How Ekiti Obas were killed by attack survivor Alara. Okay, I'm running for APC ticket. Presidency knocks Atiku over criticism of government's economic policies. 0 megawatt to discos, cripples homes. Ministry firms disagree on cause of failure. Minister in frantic meeting. And APC retains 59 Senate seats, with wings South, Yobe North, YPP, floors Soludo's Abga in Anambra. XIG Sons victory excites Aidatiwa. CAA goes tough on flight delays. Ex-governor Abba Ibrahim dies. All right, these are the headlines in the Nation newspaper. Unfortunately, how far we can stretch it this morning. We'll, when we come back, we'll be talking about the failure in power generation in the nation. This next when we come back from this break. Stay with us.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Well, power generation on the national grid crashed to zero around 1 p.m. on Sunday as the country's grid witnessed a nationwide collapse. Now, data obtained from the Power Ministry show that electricity generation on the grid dropped from 407 megawatts around 11:53 a.m. to about 31 megawatts by noon on Sunday. And Kaduna Disco confirmed that the loss of power supply left Kaduna, Sokoto, Zamfara and Kebbi states, amongst other places, in darkness. Now, figures from the TCN showed that all 20 power plants, except Ibom Power with 31 megawatts, were offline by about 11:51 a.m. on Sunday. Now, this led to a widespread blackout across the country. As Power blamed it on the collapse of the grid managed by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, an agency of the federal government, of course. Now, that on December 12, 2023, a newspaper, The Punch, reported that Nigeria witnessed a system collapse of its national grid, leading to a crash in power generation 4,032.8 megawatts to 43.5 megawatts. That's that's a massive. The preceding day. Now, power generation figures obtained from TCN at the time showed that electricity on the system moved up to 115.4 megawatts around 3 p.m. This was on December 11, 2023, before, rising further. But we're talking about yesterday and the fact that this has a trend with little explanation being given to it. Well, we still have with us Mr. Akin Fatunke, who is a communication expert, chartered accountant as well. Well, once again, I know we've talked about this a little, we've more or less flogged this issue, but we're talking about it until something is done. And I'm going to look at this from the aspect of unavailability of gas being a reason for the collapse that we have witnessed. How is it that Nigeria, that has been flaring gas and that has been touted to be a wrong action, suddenly now don't even have gas to power and then power homes? Where are we going to, really? What is the problem here, from your experience? Because I know you've been a big player in the oil and gas industry.
We are on our way to Golgotha. Except that
That's not consoling.
except this time around, it's not going to end in any salvation. And if we continue this way, that's what we are going to end up with. I have never seen, and please, politics here, but I am talking of a situation where I have seen gross incompetence, gross lack of a sense of shame, not being forward looking in everything, and then planting corn and expecting we are going to get cassava. Exactly the story of the planlessness that has bedeviled Nigeria
The incompetence is from what angle, please?
The incompetence is from the angle of people who are ruling us. So it's not just a matter of the gas. We put together a policy document to put a roadmap. You remember during Obasanjo's time? We all know a situation, David, for crying out loud. Situation that you want to build a house. And you brought the shafts and you brought this, you brought on that. And on the day you are supposed to start, you said you forgot the foreman. Not there. And so all others that were supposed to be working were working backwards. Is that not what we did? Spent 16 billion and we gave all those equipments into Chinkan. Nobody as blessed as Nigerians are in all fields, don't think, how is this going to move into Egbin? It's going to move into Oloronshogu. It's going to move into Afam. It was only when you started, you now realize you didn't have a bridge, or the bridge you have is too short. Basically meaning that your focus, because that was your question, we are focused on our take, what is going to happen to us, and not necessarily on gas. Are you talking about gas? Yes, I can say yes, I work in that oil industry for the past 30 years. ExxonMobil, where I worked, predicted what's pinpoint. Predicted I was making the noise. I remember specifically from 2004, and I used to go to Nigeria Stock Exchange, ask for Mobil Oil Nigeria PLC audited accounts, where we faced as shareholders, where we faced SEC, Nigeria Stock Exchange, where we were talking to Nigeria. Things are not the way they should get into. Talking about flaring of gas. And I come back to finance question. Yeah, it's the same Nigerians abetting and re-abetting, people seeing loopholes and seeing lacunas, plugging them. Nigerian technocrats were showing the pathway of how to corner.
They were showing who now? Export rates?
The multinationals. And the multinationals said, look, this is a cash cow. So it became an issue of those who are and the complicit middle. The complicit middle is one of the reasons why we are having problems on our security. The complicit middle is one of the reasons why we are having foreign exchange management.
Nigerians are the problem of Nigeria.
Because they are not being properly led. To say that we don't have the roadmap gas flaring is not true. Ask Femi Falana. To say that we do not have what we needed to do to plug subsidy or no subsidy is not true. To say we don't have a roadmap of how to prevent contaminated fuel coming into Nigeria that will bring our planes down at crash. Who says that? If you look at the investigation, that people have not gone to mix diesel with kerosene and call it jet fuel. So all I am therefore saying is that it's a systemic failure. But you see, Moses, funny enough, within this systemic, you see a strand of maybe one man, maybe one woman, maybe one team who say no, it's not going to happen. I can tell you for free that such men you can count on these 5 fingers were sabotaged. Many of them lost their lives. There are military people that were saying that, look, all these stop this stealing, and they were told point blank. One that lived and came to tell the story, is still alive, came and said that, look, you saw what happened to all these people.
Do you care to share his name?
You either yes, I'll share his name because my friend name. He has been saying it. Moses, you are in Lagos. There was a crash some 2-3 years ago where they said some people, including my friends, I'm talking about my friends, in Exxon Mobil, from Escravos at the Tubman Bridge there.
Yes,
Yeah.
I recall.
Oh. I had the last of the story. Normal crash or another crash like the Atahiru's crash.
What happened? Tell us.
Sabotage.
How?
People were carrying great information and they were going to come back and report it
Concrete information about what, please?
about the untoward thing that is happening in the oil and gas industry. And it's not the first time. And they met their untimely deaths.
So that means the powers, the cabal that we've been talking about.
I like you using the word cabal. And that cabal straddles even from the grass roots within the chain to the topest, to the security.
And what do they tend to benefit from trying to hold or keep all these things?
Okay, maybe I can hazard a guess. And I'd like you to be very creative. At the end of the day, people who do things like that can go to Grenada and go and throw parties. Now that makes you laugh, but that's the reality. To now then say I can get on private jets when the roads that we have and buy Rolls Royces. You see what is happening to our traditional rulers?
Yeah.
Okay, look, I do not want to sit here and continue to lament at other people's misfortune. But that is the truth. Why do you think kidnappers, non-state actors, are making the kind of call that they are making if there is no complicity? So, as far as I am concerned, it's not just the issue of the gas. We had a gas roadmap. Remember during Jonathan's time, unfortunately, we had that professor that came on and then we had issue of ethics. One of the best professors that could help us. And then, we started our rigmarole. I am not trying to absolve him of whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we have decided to kill people who genuinely want to contribute things to this country. And
Okay, sir,
if that continues, and it's continuing in a way that you cannot fathom, the only place to get to is Golgotha without the cross.
now, you've actually made some points when you're trying to talk about this, the power thing and even the gas, the flaring of the gas.
Yes.
Nigeria actually is 60-something years old now. And, we've been having series of challenges coming in, even the economic issues and inflations happening in the country. Now, what measures do you think we need to implement, to have a steady power supply in Nigeria to curb these outrages and the power grid for the effort failing and all that?
Good governance. So let me start with, you don't need to go and borrow money from IMF and all that. Please, can we look for low hangers, good governance?
Can low hangers really help us at this point?
Let's start from low hangers and then go to much more technical things. The problems we are having is that we don't have people of character.
Is that we don't have people of character or that they are not there, when you say we don't have people of character,
we don't have leadership.
Okay,
you want me to put it in another map?
all right.
So we know where to go. We are supposed to be going on the navigation north and we are facing south. We all see it, they know it because of corruption. Secondly, what we need to do, and I still come back to my low hanger, is for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to make a decision that is going to lead by example. An example that people see. Is that going to resolve the problem? No, but it will help. It will send a signal to this underworld and undercover people that we are ruling in accordance with the rule of law. Example will be all the flip-flopping and all the things that we are doing, EOP 28 and all that, Office of the First Secretary, my son is the first, it's in the House of Work, must stop. Secondly, if it does not stop, whether it is from the household of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, he must go out there and make sure he punishes, even if it is from his household. So I'm saying leading by example. Secondly, Then let's go into structure, where David is now saying, is that going to be enough? The other structure will now then be, and it's still low-hanging fruit. You shake the table. We know that one of the areas to shake table in this country is that we are running a constitution that is not working. Nigeria is not viable under the present terms and conditions that we have.
Restructuring is on the table.
We must get back and sit round the table and restructure Nigeria. Otherwise, we continue to just deceive ourselves.
But you just made mention of the fact that we don't have good leaders.
Thirdly,
so who is the people
we do not trust our leaders. Fina, I don't think you will trust me, nor will I trust you if they put the two of us in trying to manage this. Because I don't trust you. Maybe you are a woman, I should be a man. Maybe you are a Christian, you should be a Muslim, and all that. So, to your tent, O Israel, without firing a bullet, let's all sit down and say, look, this is the only way we can restructure and get an act together. Don't forget, David, our politics is getting us nowhere. You know what happened in 2023. See, like I pray I'm wrong. Wait for what is going to happen in 2027. What is going to happen in 2027 is going to be worse. Because we just refuse to let, and then putting the right pegs in round holes. Look at the issue of energy that we are talking about. We have a first-class minister in Adelabu manning that, but he's a finance guy, a CBN guy. You see, back in the day, there is something, you appoint me beyond my capacity. Not because I don't have the brains, but you've just put me as a square peg in a round hole. You know, two things I can do. I sit down and accept to myself first that I'm not capable of doing this. However, I can get a Fina who is very good in communications to be my right hand or my left hand person, my chief of staff, will be honest to the point that she knows she can take my seat. And we work it out so well, whether she's a woman, whether she's physically challenged, it's not an issue. I can take that option. Look for people who are very smart to walk around me because they will make me smarter. That's what Awolowo did. You should know that. Or I take a very honorable back and say, I'm sorry, because the scorecards will be showing. Look at it. December 11 you mentioned. We went into total darkness. Do you know that the seriousness of our discussion this morning, you know, the security people know it, is that Nigeria is like a sitting duck. I'm afraid to tell you, Chad, Niger, if they have their acts together, they can attack Nigeria because we are at our lowest level. The whole of North, Yobe Bauchi, the mass 388 came crashing down because vandals took dynamite. Dynamite similar to what happened in Ibadan. And they went to scatter the whole place. And they finished the whole place. The whole of the north is gone. You're saying that transmission company is we are zero. Cameroon, if they mean,
wait, let me.
If they mean to attack Nigeria, this is now the time to attack Nigeria and bring Nigeria down.
Are you saying that part of the reasons we are having gross darkness enveloping the nation is because of vandals and the possibility that this is being done to undermine the government in power? Is that what you're saying?
The Nigerian nation state. I do not believe we are running a nation. I believe that we have not come to terms to know that we are still operating a unitary constitution, which is military. I do not believe that we have a consensus to say we are going to have a national leader in this country. And because we don't have that, yes, Moses, the one that happened that brought that mast down were done by not terrorists now. Vandals. That's how they call them. Because by the time Transmission Company of Nigeria and the Abuja Disco, 2 people there, they ran away. They ran away. They didn't have. And this blackness we are talking about, it's not just Kaduna. Are we not having it in Lagos? Are we not having it? So enemies are seeing this. Kidnappers are seeing this, knowing fully well that Nigeria is at its lowest level, and they can attack. Why do you think Chiani of Niger is making the kind of call he was making after that coup? Because he said, look, Nigeria, giants in the sun. So, what has happened basically is the fact that in the private sector setting, Moses, and this is the truth, if there was going to be a blackout, you as the sub-manager, you will have seen the scenario, you will have seen the signs, you will have made some noise. And whether you make a noise or you don't make a noise, if this came down under your watch, you are not going to continue to sit.
Of course.
No, not question. You are going to be sacked. Yes, you are going to be sacked. If a plane came down, I know you can have act of God. If a plane came down and it's going to be investigated, and they found maybe a little bit of sleeping here and there, you as the head of the unit will be made to face the door. What we find in public services, people who can steal, who can amass, who can pay them their way through the legal system, are the ones that are going to be chosen. Is it not true that in Nigeria, as we are speaking, people who have been indicted are the ones running our politics? Is it not true?
Annoyingly so.
Oh, come on.
We are trying to let's come back to the roadmap that you talked about. ExxonMobil, you did say that they came up with a roadmap as a way of Nigeria benefiting using the gas that we have to our own advantage. Can you please tell us more about the roadmap?
The roadmap,
yes, in about 3 minutes.
Don't let us go technical. The roadmap says if you want to go to Kaduna, you should have a car, and that your best bet is to face north of Lagos, Magodo, Ibadan, and stuff like that. That is the roadmap.
Can you break it down, please?
It's broken down. But if I tell you that's the way to go, and you say no, you are not going to go that way, you are going to face the Atlantic Ocean. You are going to face the Atlantic. You can still get to Kaduna maybe after 40 days and 40 nights without Moses.
So you mean they told us what to do, but we decided not to?
Of course, implementation is the problem.
What were the things?
What were these things that were told to these guys to do?
Okay, one of the things that was told is that the procurement process will be so transparent and in a way that must be fit for purpose. In the past 10 years, did we have a procurement governing council in this country? We know that, I know that, media, we all know that. Somebody just didn't want to do it because he said he wanted to face Atlantic Ocean. And they are the ones that are ruling us. How is it therefore possible for you to be able to check and balance if people are bringing in the right things or not? Health. At a particular point in time, we said our health system is porous. Go to LUT, Center of Excellence. Large-scale generators, the one that's as big as this building +2, was stolen. Is this something that you are going to go to pick as you are picking this? The roadmap is for the security and what have you, you must have check and balances. It's as simple as that. We don't have. Totally. What are the things that were said? We said the issues surrounding gas flaring. Please, don't do this. Don't do this.
Don't do what? Don't flare gas.
There is a roadmap to say by so and so period, it should stop. We should bring in some investments as multinationals. They kept on shifting and shifting, aided and abetted by Nigerians.
Okay, let me
aided and abetted by Nigerians. So the roadmap is known. but we refuse to say it. And those people who refuse to it are the ones that are holding sway in Nigerian economy
let me put
today.
this information out there, and you might just also want to respond to this, talking about investments now. Do you consider this investment? We know that there has been an accord between Nigeria and Germany where Nigeria will supply 850,000 tons of natural gas to Germany annually, which is expected to rise to about 1.2 million, and the first deliveries will be in 2026. All right. Now, we heard the president's spokesperson, media person, say that. Now, the deal will help process about 50 million cubic feet per day of natural gas that otherwise would have been flared. This was November 2023 when Nigeria signed that deal with Germany. Is this some sort of investment?
And is it coming at the very right time?
Should we even be talking about this and then we don't even have gas?
I keep on saying, and Fina was asking me, what specifically should we do?
Exactly.
And one of the things we need to do is to carry sense. So it is not just for you, Mr. President, to say you've gone to Germany to sign a deal and all that. What are the next steps? One of them is that Nigeria, over the years, beyond President Bola Tinubu's time, has said that we are going to invest in a gas pipeline that will go through Niger to Morocco. And you have gone ahead and then you said it. Is the thing going to fly in the sky? And now, what we had envisioned is now being overtaken by events. Can you put a gas pipeline through Chad without Chad now leaving ECOWAS? It is called problems upon problems. It is a combination of common sense. It's a combination of what you like to describe as emotional intelligence. It's a combination of diplomacy. Is all this put together is a factor surrounding good governance. You have to be a good leader. We may not win at the end of the day. Imagine the kind of investment that you are going to put in what you have just said. Between 2024, 2026, we have gone backwards. Are you going to be able to get in there? Be careful. Some people would have been taking some monies here and there now. You remember PIDD?
Oh.
It is the deal of what... The only way out again, and I say for the umpteenth time, let's unbundle Nigeria. Let's ask ourselves critical questions. Let Nigeria breathe. Nigeria is not breathing right now.
Unfortunately, we'll have to wrap this up. I really would have loved to get the roadmap outlined, but I guess you don't have the time to do that.
Check the electricity roadmap. It's always been there.
Okay.
And it's been in comatose. It is stated black and white.
Well, let's get into our other topic for discussion this morning. David?
Okay. Well, let's just say that this discussion is actually taking us very, very interesting. EFCC recovers 30 billion naira from humanitarian ministry. These and more we'll talk about when we return.
When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you